This is a video on how to make spaghetti with meat sauce. You're going to need two 8-inch seal meal bags that are, I guess this is a Food Saver brand, that has a seal down the middle of it. And you'll need an ounce, or actually 3 ounces of angel hair pasta that is broken into quarters. You don't have to be exact, but you just want to make sure that you got something that looks about like this much. And into the other side of that bag you're going to put an ounce of browned dehydrated hamburger. Again, you don't have to be exact, but I've found that that amount seems to be plenty for the amount of spaghetti that you're going to get, and it hydrates up real well. Into the other bag you're going to put 1.5 ounces of some dehydrated spaghetti sauce. You can use whatever brand you want, but I used some Newman's Own Sockaroonie, which is widely available in my grocery store, and pretty tasty, and it rehydrates well. Again, you don't have to be exact, but I've found that amount of dehydrated Newman's Own rehydrates very nicely with 1 cup of water. Into the other side of your sauce bag, you're going to put a healthy amount of Parmesan, whatever you think you're going to want. There's a lot of different ways you can do this, a lot of different sauces you could use. Some people even use dehydrated tomato powder and spices. I didn't have any of that, and I just wanted to give it a go with something that was readily available, so I used Newman's Own. And what you end up having to carry with you is 2 bags, one with your hamburger and your spaghetti, and one with your Parmesan and your sauce. I did it this way just because the whole mess is weighing in at 7 3/8 ounces. It's not a just add water meal like your Mountain House stuff, but I like my version a lot better than the Mountain House because it's just tastier, and it actually tastes more like a real meal. You'll need 3 cups of water for this. The other thing you'll need is just some sort of a big cup. This is just one of those big coffee thermos things, and you'll need a little piece of aluminum foil like this. It is a little bit more complicated to make this than it is your, I don't know, boil and dump Mountain House spaghetti, but to me it's worth the trouble. It's actually way cheaper. I think I paid I don't know, $6 for this pump and dump thing at the Walmart, and this didn't cost me much more than $1 or so maybe in materials, and this is a much tastier product, at least in my mouth. So I'm out here tonight in the woods. I built a little shelter with a little mosquito net underneath, GI poncho with a mosquito net underneath, and I'm getting pretty hungry, so I'm going to make some spaghetti. A little hot sauce in there to make it sexy. I'm going to go ahead and load up my stove. Now, it's not super windy out tonight, but there's enough of a breeze that it could interfere with my alcohol stove, so I'm just going to unroll this little piece of aluminum that I've got that will just kind of help shield the stove from wind. You'll see I've got some noodles and some about 1 ounce of ground beef that's been browned and then dried. I'm going to take the ground beef and empty it into my cup. You'll want to get the ground beef into the water so that it dehydrates real well, or so that it rehydrates real well. Now for this, I know I've got a 24-ounce cup, which is 3 cups, and what I'll want to do is fill that 2/3 of the way full, and then I'll know I'll have 2 cups of water in the cup, It takes 2 cups of water to rehydrate your hamburger and to cook your noodles. And it doesn't take long, and I'm simmering, and very shortly here I'll be boiling. All we need to do is bring this to a boil, let it go for a minute or so, even less. There we're boiling. I'm just going to let it do its thing for a couple minutes here, make sure it doesn't overflow and ruin my flame. Only took a minute or two to get this going. It's plenty hot. I'm just letting it sit on here and boil for just a little bit to make sure that that hamburger is really dehydrated. And now that I'm sure we're where we need to be, I'm taking this off and I'm dumping it into the cup with the noodles, meat and all. And if you don't get all of it out, that's fine. Give these a little stir, make sure that all your noodles are underwater and that your beef is more or less underwater. And this here is going to sit for 7 to 10 minutes, I don't know. You just know when it's done, and I'm going to go ahead and unravel this a little bit and seal it up. Let that sit. Now we have to make our sauce. There's a little teeny tiny little bits of meat left in there. That's okay. I'm going to put that back on the flame. And we're still on our original ounce of alcohol, so it's doing really well. Again, 24-ounce cup. I know if I fill it a third of the way full, I'm at right about a cup. And the spaghetti sauce that I made, 1.5 ounces rehydrates in about a cup of water. I'm going to go ahead and open that. And we'll dump it in. It takes a little bit of work to get this rehydrated. They're flat pieces, it's not a powder. So while it's cooking, we'll stir it a little bit. Still a few chunks in there, getting a little better. We need to get those chunks dissolved. That's okay because our noodles aren't quite al dente yet. And here's how you know it's done. It's starting to simmer. Most of those chunks are starting to be gone here. You have to really dig to find some. Another little bit here, this will be the consistency of spaghetti sauce. Nice and hot and no more chunks. We're going to check on our noodles here. They look to be just about done. The hamburger looks nice and soft. That's what we were going for. I'm going to test one of these noodles. Al dente. So now what we have to do is use this as a lid and drain that noodle water off. And I'm going to drain this off away from my shelter a ways. No reason to attract bugs or other critters that we don't want to be here. Trying not to spill any of the hamburger. But, you know, if you needed to, I guess you could drink that noodle water and get some nutrition out of it. But you know what? I'm pretty fat. I don't need it. So now we're at the point here of trying stuff. My stove is nice and cool. I'm going to move it out of the way. Got my drained noodles and my sauce that I made earlier. I'm going to dump the sauce in here. There's plenty of sauce, believe me. And I'm going to stir it up a little bit. I'm going to open up some Parmesan that I brought along, and I'm going to combine that with it. And in my particular case today, it's lucky that I thought about shelter before food, because it's now raining outside and I've got a nice little shelter up that's more than adequate to keep me dry in this little light rain that we got here. I got some mosquito netting up, no bugs are going to bother me, and I'm just going to go ahead and enjoy my dinner.